How much money do you need to start a podcast? Very good question on a whole lot of levels. If you're thinking about starting a podcast for your business, always, you count the cost before you get started. Well, we're going to go over some of the stuff that's going to certainly give you a much better idea of what it will cost to get things rolling for your company podcast. We'll do that next. Now watch all the way through to the end, because what we're going to cover here is several different layers. We're going to do the inexpensive route, the cost you a little bit route, and we can also discuss the expensive route very briefly. I know a lot of people don't like to hang out there, but we can certainly go there for just a minute. Plus, the one thing that no matter what route you take, the inexpensive, moderate, or the expensive route, there's always one particular expense that you're going to have no matter what. And we'll make sure that you're aware of it coming up next. Let's go. Hi, I'm Nick Natarella with AdWise Creative. I have been producing radio commercials, audio, video, you name it, for the past 30, 35 years now. Wow. Man, I can't believe that. But truth be told, that's how long it's been. And we try to get this set up for you so your business can have a successful podcast or YouTube channel or blog, or if you want to start dabbling into radio advertising, well, we do radio advertising a little bit differently around here. So this is what I've been working on for the last 35 years now. It's all culminated to this. And you want to know about starting your own business podcast. Well, let's start inexpensively. There's a chance that you could do a podcast with, say, your smartphone. I wouldn't recommend it. But if you want to start out very inexpensively, you could probably start off with your smartphone and recording episodes. Now, if you're going to do this as a solo gig, you might be able to get away with it. The reason why I say might is because cameras are much better on smartphones than microphones are. The microphones are okay. They're very limited in their dynamic range and audio capacity. The first thing I would recommend you do is upgrade your microphone status as soon as possible. But to begin with, yes, go ahead and get started with your smartphone. And you can simply transfer those audio files to, say, your computer, edit them on your computer, and then upload them from there. That's a fine way to do it. That would be the most inexpensive way. Now, we're just talking about podcasting here. You don't have to worry about cameras or lights or microphones or anything like that. But like I said, when it comes to audio, please upgrade your mic first. And the reason why I say that, even in Hollywood, they have a saying in Hollywood, and I've heard two versions of this. When they talk about a feature film, you're thinking, wow, what, Star Wars, special effects, explosions, blah, 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 you know, whatever's going on, massive productions and all this kind of stuff. They will tell you that a major Hollywood film is either 80% audio or at the very least 51% audio, just to get the analogy across. What they're saying is that audio will make or break a major Hollywood film. Now, if you've got all these visuals that captivate you between explosions and scenery and, you know, wonderful cinematography, and maybe you're into costume design, fine. Maybe you're into lighting, or I was just talking with a buddy of mine at lunch today. He was talking about, man, I love that movie. I love the way they color graded it. If you're into color grading, guess what? I can still destroy that film with bad audio in the blink of an eye. Now, if that's true for video, if that's true for film, imagine how important your audio is to a podcast when that's all they have is what you're saying and how clear, concise, and clean that audio has to be in order to keep them listening the entire time. Audio is very important. Yes, you can get started. Yes, you can learn the ropes by using your phone, but I would strongly suggest you upgrade as soon as possible. There are a couple websites that you could go to. One is fullcompass.com. The other one is sweetwater.com. In both of those, type in podcast bundle into the search. From there, you'll have a million choices of, say, a microphone and a stand just for you. You can get started. I know Sweetwater's got a bundle for just $99. Or if you need something a little bit more, you're going to have some fancy special effects and switchers and 3 or 4 people around the same table talking. You're going to have microphones and stands and cables and blah, 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 all the way up to a 4-person system for like $3,200 or $3,500. So depending on what you want to spend, there you go. Upgrade your mic as soon as possible, but you can start with your smartphone. So that would be the inexpensive way to go. The moderately expensive way to go would be to invest in some microphones. Like I just said, there's an entire package for $99. Microphone, cable, and stand. Boom, everything's covered, plugs right into your USB port of your computer, you're up and running. Now there is some audio editing software you're going to need. Chances are you can find what you need for free. Probably one of the most popular ones out there is one called Audacity. Audacity. It has been around for decades. I remember using that at the radio station back in my late 20s, early 30s. So over 30 years ago, they were using Audacity. It was open source at the time, and they were constantly adding to it and building on it and stuff like that. But just recently, like within the last 3 to 5 years, a company bought Audacity. It is still free, but it is under commercial development now. So take that for what it's worth. I don't know how this is going to wash out in the long run, but for now, Audacity is still free. It's just under new ownership. So there you can start with that, and that's probably one of the most popular programs around. Everybody in the podcast world has heard of Audacity, if not used it at one time or another. So this is the kind of stuff that we talk about all the time, not just the expensive route, but I'm talking about podcasts and YouTube channels and blogging and radio commercials, any type of social media, electronic advertising, audio, video, that kind of thing. That's what we cover here for you. So if you're trying to do this for your company, for your business, this is not a hobby. This is not like the YouTube business model. This is your business model. This is the channel for you. I hope you would consider subscribing and making this your home base, because we cover it all. From microphones to lighting to YouTube to podcast, this is the place. So what is the expensive route to a podcast? Well, think about it. It's called a recording studio, and there's tons of stuff that can come with that. We're talking microphones, stands, cables, all kinds of components to go with it. If you want to have, say, EQ, compression, reverb, all those racks and stuff like that. And of course, if you're going to have 4 people in there, you're going to have 4 racks. And please, we can go absolutely nuts with this if you really want to. If this is going to be your show, maybe this is going to be the thing that you're going to put your flag in the sand and say, this is where I live, right here on this podcast. That'd be the way to do it. You may want to consider doing that, because you're probably going to be looking at sponsorships and all kinds of revenue generating possibilities with it. So maybe it justifies that type of investment to get set up. Across the board, there's a lot you can do for free. There's a lot you can pay for. A lot of it has to do with equipment. Even software you can get for free. I mentioned Audacity earlier. There are also other softwares where you can use that is either a monthly subscription or a one-time purchase. Monthly subscription, maybe I've been using Adobe Audition for 30 years now. I even used Adobe Audition before it was Adobe. Do you remember the name of it? Do you remember? Centrillium was the company, and the name was Cool Edit and Cool Edit Pro. Do you remember that? That's how long I've been using Audition. And then there are others that you can pay for one time. I want to say Adobe Audition is like $29 a month, $27 a month, something like that. And then there are others that you can buy flat out for a one-time fee. I'm thinking about making the switch to DaVinci Resolve and just using the audio components in DaVinci Resolve. That would take a little bit of a setup. I need to plant some ground first before I make that switch. But after that, I've already paid for DaVinci Resolve, and I'll never have to pay a monthly subscription ever again. So that's to be considered. Think about it. Now, I told you that no matter what route you take, there is always one expense that's going to be across the board, and that is going to be your podcast hosting. If you were doing a YouTube channel, uploading to YouTube and having YouTube host everything and having all your videos on YouTube, that's free. For podcasting, though, you're going to spend anywhere between $10 and $50 a month for the hosting company to carry all of your episodes. The reason why there's such a price differentiation is because they all have A, a different model, and B, in particular, different features and add-ons and specialties and stuff like that that just enhance the entire experience. There are some that strictly, hey, we're just hosting, send us your audio file, it's $10 a month. Okay, cool, fine. There are others that have recording software built into their site, editing software built into their site, distribution, opportunities for monetization, all kinds of bells and whistles. That might be in the $50 a month category. Of course, you're going to be paying $50 a month up front, but it's probably going to be a few months, if not a few years into the entire journey where you'll finally be using all $50 of those features. So that's a little something to consider. And then one last piece of advice, and this is free. Be sure that if you think you've found the place where you want to host your podcast, that's where you're going to stay. Trying to make the switch from one host to another, it can be disastrous. I mean, you don't have the audience. The audience, not your whole audience isn't going to follow you. They're going to lose you. They're not going to know where you went. All of a sudden you're off the air. Your website's gone. All the audio files are gone. Everything's gone. So as far as they're concerned, you're done, you're gone, you packed up and you went home. When that's not the case. So you're I'm not saying you're starting from scratch, because if you promote it correctly, people will follow you and they will find you. But there's still going to be a dip. So things are going to be set back a little bit. It's kind of like if you've got an email provider and you're trying to switch email providers, you're going to drop a bunch of email addresses no matter what. Same thing here when it comes to podcast hosts. So if you can, pick it up front and stick with it, because it'll save you a lot of heartache in the long run. So to get you started, let's start you off for free, shall we? I have a free guide. There's a link in the description down below. It's a free guide for free audio editing software. I've talked about Audacity. I've talked about a couple others. Check it out. This whole list is for, it doesn't matter what computer you're using, whether it's PC or Mac or Linux, whatever is the operating system, there's a software on there that you can use. It's all free. Some of them are free stepping stones to paid, and whether that's a subscription or an all-out purchase, just read the fine print, you can figure it out. But to begin with, all of them are free. You can try the ones that work for your platform, find the one that you like the best, find the workflow that you like the best, maybe the one that's most intuitive for you, and I say, stick with that one. So get your free guide down below in the description. I'm Nick Natarella with AdWise Creative. Thank you for watching.